Hello, my name is Nicholas Griffith, and today I would like to try to make an appeal to you about smoking. Smoking is something that affects almost everyone in the world around us, and is one of the most deadly things to ever be invented by mankind to try to make profit. As you may or may not know, tons of efforts have been undertaken recently by all levels of the government to try to reduce the amount of smoke inhalation one can encounter on a daily basis. However, by doing this, they have only taken the first step of many to try to combat the issue that is smoke. In order to begin a truly effective campaign against preventing people from starting to smoke in the first place, you would have to target the most problematic and most cumbersome to influence group of individuals, teenagers, who are also the most likely to pick up cigarettes before they are supposed to. As shown by this anonymous recorded survey, most people who've responded said that their first cigarette that they ever had was between the ages of 13 and 17, which is below the legal age of which one is supposed to pick up a cigarette to begin with. As recorded by the Substance Abuse Commission, 10% of teenagers in 2011 had reported using cigarettes and other tobacco products within the past month, which was a downgrade from 2002's about 15% people who had recorded smoking in the first. According to the CDC, smoking even one cigarette can increase one's risks for lung and heart-related illnesses by 15 to 30% of what a non-smoker would have as their risk rate. This is unacceptable and should not be allowed to continue. As pictured here on the left, a healthy lung is red and spongy in nature. However, on the right is an image of a smoker's lung, black and gray, covered in tar and much more solid and less spongy. As most teenagers are unfortunately aware of, in a coin toss, one cannot determine whether or not you have won or lost until the very end. Smoking is the same in this regard. However, as most people are also aware, more often than not, in the end, we end up losing. Another thing that most teenagers agree on is that teenage life is stressful. However, there are ways that can make it even more stressful than it should be. One of these is smoking. It places uncountable amounts of stress on us, and is something we should not undertake at all. One of the most painful monetary ways that cigarettes can end up placing stress upon us is, ironically, their cost. Within the past years, the prices of cigarettes have been going through the roof, as governments have been trying to place limits and bans on when and where they can be used. Smoking is also a huge time waster. The reason being, when most people pick up a cigarette, they tend to not do anything else until their cigarette is done. And if they choose to pick up another cigarette after the first one, they won't be able to do much for quite a while. While no direct correlation has been made between smoking and receiving bad grades, one can guess, considering how much time it eats away in your day, that the amount of time that you could dedicate to studying would fall significantly, and studying helps people get better grades. When trying to go about smoking as a teenager, one must also constantly have to try to avoid the law. The reason being, smoking under the age of 18 is illegal, and the law will try to find and prosecute you to the fullest of their abilities if they see you smoking in public. If you've already picked up smoking and are a teenager, however, the best thing that you could ever possibly choose to do would be to quit. Scientists have studied the fact and have determined that after you've quit, your health of your lungs and all the other related organs can go back. We must all make a stand against teenage smoking. In order to do so, we'll have to talk to the people who are already smoking and do our best to teach those who are not that it is not in their best interest. Change will be hard, but not changing will prove to be fatal for those who continue.